Welcome to Mom's Dinner. My name is Susie Weinrich, and here we're helping you feel successful in your kitchen. Okay, so for dinner, actually for tomorrow night, I'm prepping ahead of time because nobody ate the bread that I bought this week. So I have this smashed up loaf of bread in the back of my fridge. I put it in the back of the fridge and then I shoved stuff in there and it got smashed up. Well, you know what that's really good for? An overnight egg bake. And I had most of the other ingredients: cheese, eggs, spices, butter, Dijon mustard, and milk, and I just had to pick up a little ham steak. This is also a great recipe if you have leftover ham. So stick around today. I'm gonna prep my egg bake to have for dinner tomorrow night. Since I bought a smaller ham steak, I am only going to make half of the recipe here, but the ingredients that I'm gonna tell you will be for the full 9x13 pan. So I'm gonna make this one in my smaller little, like 2-quart, 1.5-quart casserole dish. Okay, now we all on the same page. Let's get started. So you're gonna take a little bit of softened butter and we're gonna prep your baking dish. You'll need about 1 tablespoon of softened butter, and just get that wiped across the entire pan. Now the next thing that we need is the bread. You can use a French loaf, you could use like a ciabatta or a sourdough, but if you use something with a really hearty crust, go ahead and remove that. I have just this artisan bread that, like I said, got all smashed up in my fridge, and the crust isn't super crusty, so I'm just gonna leave that on. I'm gonna cube that up. When you're making a full pan, you will need 4 cups of bread. And you can cut this, you could just tear it however you want. You want them in like about 1/2 inch to 1 inch chunks. And this does not need to look pretty because it's all going to bake together. All right, then you can bring your prepared dish back in, and we're gonna just scoop that bread, lightly measure it, and toss it into the pan. That looks good. So we've got a few extras here. I may just pop those in the oven and make a little crouton action. All right, now we are going to prep the ham. So I just have a little ham steak here. If you're buying a ham steak, or really when you're buying ham, it comes fully cooked. So you don't need to worry about cooking it ahead of time. And this, like I said before, is a great recipe for leftover ham after the holidays. Now, some of this rind I am gonna remove. You could certainly leave that on there. It is edible. Mine is pretty textured, and I'm not looking for that in my casserole. So I'm gonna remove that first, and then I'm gonna dice it into about 1/2 inch dice. When you're doing the full casserole, you'll wanna make sure that you've got about 2.5 to 3 cups of leftover ham. If it's shredded ham, if it's, you know, full ham that you need to dice, any of that works. I'm guessing I've got about 1.5 cups here. And we're just gonna sprinkle that right in with the bread cubes. If you've been here for any amount of time, you know that I hate shredding cheese. I hate it so bad. So I got this little gadget. Maybe it was for Mother's Day or for Christmas. I love this thing, and I've used it to grate carrots. I've used it to grate cheese, zucchini. It is amazing. Even though I hate shredding cheese, I still fresh shred cheese because it melts so much creamier and so much more delicious. So it's worth that extra effort, even though I hate it so bad. I hate it so bad. So for the full recipe, you're gonna want 1.5 cups of shredded cheese. Since I'm making about a half a recipe, I am going to do somewhere around 1 cup of cheese will be good. But watch how great this works. Like 0 effort. Well, if I set that in there the right way, then maybe it would really be 0 effort. Look at that. Oh, here comes my dog. He knew. He knew I was shredding cheese. Come here. You want to say hi? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come up and get it. Come here. Say hi. Love it. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna take our little ham casserole here and we're gonna sprinkle this cheese right over top. And then it's time to make that egg custard that's gonna go over this before it goes in the fridge. So let's get after that. This next part I love to do in these large measuring containers, these glass measuring containers. This is a 4-cup one. I use this all the time, not just for measuring, but for mixing and pouring, whisking. This is a great kitchen tool that I will link down in the description box for you. Okay, so this is the egg custard part that's gonna get poured over the bread mixture and soak overnight. So when you're making the full recipe, you're gonna want 8 eggs. I am going to use 4 eggs because I am doing half the recipe. Then you're gonna need, for the full recipe, you're gonna need 2 cups of whole milk. I am just doing half again, so I'm gonna put in 1 cup of whole milk. For the full recipe, you need 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. I am just going to eyeball 1 teaspoon. I need to put Dijon mustard on my grocery list. Then you're gonna need a ½ teaspoon each for the full recipe, Lowry's seasoned salt. Love this stuff. Garlic powder and onion powder. This is a very simple recipe that is wonderful around the holidays too. Not only when you have leftover ham, but if you have house guests that are coming and you want to have some breakfasts ready, this is an excellent recipe to throw together the night before. And then it's just ready to pop in the oven the next morning. So we're gonna whisk all this together and it's gonna make kind of like an egg custard. All right, that looks great. I'm gonna bring this little mixture of bread and ham and cheese back in, and we're just gonna pour this right over top. I'm gonna give it the very lightest press just to make sure all of those bread cubes are gonna soak up that liquid. All right, it's all prepped. So now all I'm gonna do is cover it up. I'm gonna pop it in the fridge. You can leave it in the fridge for 12 to 24 hours. And then when it's time for dinner, I'm gonna pop it in the oven. So I will come back when it's time for dinner. All right, it's time for dinner. So I am going to pop this in the oven. What you wanna do is uncover it. Ooh. I've got my little oven over here preheated to 375, and I'm gonna pop this in the oven for 45 minutes. And while this is cooking, I'm going to get a little fruit salad ready and some side dishes to have with this for dinner. Ooh, it smells like egg bacon here, y'all. And I don't have any what are those called? Hand mitts down here, so I'm gonna try and grab it with my towel. Let's see if we can do this. Oh my gosh, this looks so incredible. It is, oh, look at that. Look at that. It smells so good. So what I love about this, I mean, it smells like ham and cheese and eggs and butter. Yum. What I love about this is that it puffs up so beautifully in the oven. Now, as it cools, it will kind of deflate a little bit, which is totally fine. Still delicious. I'm gonna cut this up into squares. I'm gonna serve it with a little fruit salad on the side, and then I have some little blueberry muffins we're gonna have, and that's gonna be dinner. So, oh, my mouth is watering. I really hope that you give this ham and cheese egg bake a try in your kitchen. Leftover ham, perfect for holiday guests. This is incredible. And I hope that it helps you feel like a success at dinner time or at breakfast time. Breakfast or brunch too. This is a great one. So until next time, have a wonderful week ahead. See ya.